Neil at Fab Locker in Winston again, doing a tutorial for the Prusa Mendel from Makergear. First thing we're going to do for the Y, we're going to be doing the Y-axis this time. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and attach our pulley. When you do this, you need to make sure that you do line it up with the flat that you put on the motor earlier if your motor did not have a flat on it. Doesn't really matter at this point exactly where on the motor it is, just as long as it's attached. Just to save a lot of time and effort, I went ahead and installed the Y carriage. It's a very finicky job to get that done. Y carriage is the only carriage on the Prusa that you actually have to manually get everything lined up correctly, so it can take a little bit of time. First thing you're going to want to do is whenever you get your Y assembly put together is you want to stick one of your rods inside the linear bearings and make sure that it moves smoothly. If it doesn't move smoothly, then you need to pull the bushing back out, find out if there's any burrs on it, to find out why it's not sliding well. But it should slide that easily. So once you've got it sliding really good, you slide the two smooth rods onto the carriage and then slide the carriage and the rods into the clamps. You'll then pull out your trusty calipers and you'll pick one side, doesn't matter which side it is, and measure off between the washers and the two washers on either side. You for this type of Y carriage, it's going to be 55 millimeters. So 55 millimeters puts it in the middle. So 55 millimeters from washer to washer, and tighten it down. Then you go back over to this side. Remember, this side is the same as that side, and you want to measure 55 millimeters from this side. You need to be within about 0.1 millimeters. So it needs to be really, really close to being perfect. Clamp both sides down, reconfirm your numbers, and then this is your constant. This is the side that you float. What you're going to do when you get over here is you're going to use your wrench, or your pliers, whatever you're using, and you're going to tweak this back and forth until this slides just as easily as it did before. Once it can slide really easily, you're done lining that up. At that point, it's a good time to go ahead and install your Y motor. Once you have that installed. Now, the way I just described it took 2-3 minutes. Be prepared for this to take a good chunk of time. It literally, the good thing about brass bushings is they either work perfectly or they don't work at all. So, and once you've got this installed, you're hoping never to have to take this part of the machine apart again. So be sure that it moves just as easily as you can get it to move before you go any further. Next thing you need to do is to install your Y motor. To install your Y motor, the way I like to install them is with the wire toward the inside. I think it makes a prettier build. And you're going to need 3 of your M3 10 millimeter long that you've got with your kit. You need to put a washer on each one of them. Feed it through. Again, this is personal preference, but I prefer the wire toward the inside. Doesn't matter where you stick the wire. But once this is done, for the most part, you're never going to take this part of your bot apart again. So, make as pretty as you can as you are in here. Okay. Get those tight. you need to make sure that your belt will be able to go straight across. So what you want to confirm is grab your belt. You want to run off the pulley across this part right here, across the belt clamp on both sides, and there be no turn. It shouldn't have to turn either way to do it. It should be just as straight as you can make it and right down the middle. It looks really close. If you'll notice, my motor mount is a little bit off. It's too far out. So this is where you go ahead and loosen it. Be sure to keep your grub screw on top of the hobbing. Line them up, tighten it down. I went ahead and installed the nut traps and the clamps for one side. Okay. Now what you do is you feed it underneath through the hole that's underneath your carriage to the other side. Across the idler on this side and back over to the trolley. Again, when you're looking at this, you want to try to just visually make sure that your belt is going all the way across. And lining up perfectly straight, which looks like it's doing. So, this is one point where the Makergear is a bit different than the way most of these are put together. I didn't like it at first until I used it, and then I just thought I couldn't believe that we didn't do this before, considering how small a part this is. Basically what happens is you have your regular Y belt clamp there, and then you have this other belt clamp that has the nut in it. So what you do is you feed both of these, and by the way, these were in the bag with these parts, and these are the nuts that are 30 millimeters long. That's what they look like. You need to use those. Just feed that to the top. Flip it over. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there. Bump you again. Okay. Once you have that, get this part. Get that out of the way. Turn that in by hand. I managed to knock the nut off. Put that nut back on. Okay, once those are fed in a little bit, don't have to be fed in much. Take your belt, slide it through. go. And once that is tightened up, it will run quite smoothly. I won't keep you for all that fun. That is a installed Y-axis. Have a good day.